Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Today we have a very cool article, very exciting news. This comes from Bloody Disgusting, but first, please subscribe and share with a friend. It helps us out a ton. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Thank you very much. All right, Bloody Disgusting. It reads, Predator Badlands starring Ellie Fanning releases in theaters on November 2025. So, that's going to be kind of interesting. Obviously, guys, if you've heard anything about Prey, that was prequel Predator film that was released exclusively on Hulu. So I think they've taken some notes from that release, 20th Century Fox that is, and Disney, and they've said, you know what? We saw what happened with Prey. Film got a lot of good reviews, got a lot of good attention. Then we had Alien Romulus come out in theater. I think it's time to put out another Predator film in theater. So this is cool. Let's see what direction they go in with this film. So let's continue. In the wake of Dan Trachtenberg's 10 Cloverfield Lane Prey going straight to Hulu back in 2022, we've learned that Disney will be releasing the follow-up film in theaters. Also being directed by Trachtenberg, Predator Badlands releases on November 7th, 2025. Ellie Fanning from the Neon Diamond has been set to star in the fresh new installment. It's interesting to note that November 7th, 2025 had been the date occupied by Marvel's long-delayed Blade reboot, but that project has now been bumped off the schedule completely, and we talked about Blade earlier this week, guys. We think this film is going to be canceled. But with that being said, let's continue. Dan Trachtenberg is on board to co-write and direct Badlands. We don't know much of anything about this film at the time, but we understand it's set to be another solo movie rather than a sequel to Prey. Stay tuned for more on Predator Badlands as we learn it. Amber Midthunder starred in Hulu's Prey as a Comanche woman who goes against gender norms and traditions to become a warrior, bravely taking down a predator in the process. Now owned by Disney under 20th Century Studios' umbrella, the Predator franchise, of course, kicked off with the original action horror classic back in 1987, obviously starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. That film was followed by sequels Predator 2, Danny Glover was in that one, Predators, which I really did like, Adrian Brody was in that film, I believe that came out in 2010. Pretty solid film. A lot of people have mixed reviews on it, but I thought the film was pretty good. The Predator and Prey, as well as the two Alien vs. Predator movies. The long-running franchise also includes all kinds of comic books and video games, and that is the end of that article, guys. So we don't have too much information. We do have some casting news. We have some locations. I have seen a couple things about this film. Didn't report on them until now, but we've seen those things, and obviously, if this film's going to be hitting theaters in about a year from now, we're going to be getting a lot more information regarding this film. They're going to start getting all of the marketing in motion. Obviously, the last Predator film that did hit theaters was, I believe, that Predator film that was in 2015, and that film did not do well at all. So if they're going to be releasing in theaters again, it's one thing to have the Hulu release and Prey be a success, but you can't really bank off that because it didn't hit a mainstream audience on that level as far as a big screen cinema experience. So since you're really coming off the back of a film that didn't do well in 2015, you're going to have your marketing very strategic, and it's going to have to be very proper for people to understand that Predator is back on the big screen, and it's going to have to be something that makes people excited to see Predator on the big screen. Now, we have Ellie Fanning starring in this film. I don't know if they're trying to go more in the direction of having more women involved with Predator. That could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. I'm indifferent towards it. I thought Prey was decent, although the female was the lead in that role. There were some men involved as support, and they were cool too. The story was written pretty solid, very compact, and it got to the point. There wasn't too many weird things thrown in there, to be quite honest. So with this one, I don't know what they're going to do with it, but hopefully we do have some good support and we have some balance, because if you don't have balance, I think it's going to be a film that people are going to pass on. 20th Century Studios cannot afford to let that happen to Predator at this point. You had Prey, which was a good stepping stone, right, after the 2015 flop, but now you have this, and it's going to be our first big Predator film in theaters since 2015, so there is a lot riding on it, and for 20th Century Studios as well. Definitely want to know what the budget for this film is going to be. That's going to be very interesting, and I just want to know the inner workings of the story. Like they said, it's not going to be necessarily connected directly to Prey. So I want to see what timeline this follows, to be quite honest. I want to know if it's after the events of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Predator and Predator 2. I want to know that for sure. But with that being said, I will be relaying any more information that I get regarding Predator Badlands once it hits my desk. With that being said, comment down below, are you excited for another Predator film to hit the big screen? How many Predator films have you seen? Are you a fan of the franchise? Did you see Prey on Hulu? Definitely want to know what you guys think about this. Comment down below. Subscribe, share, like, ring the bell for notifications, and be safe. It's Neff signing off.